AmRRON stands for American Readout Radio Operators Network and is a nationwide disaster preparedness network made up of Patriot-oriented radio operators. So AmRRON phonetically, Alpha, Mike.
Greetings, AmRRON members, patriots, and preppers. This is John Jacob Schmidt, founder and national director of AmRRON. I'd especially like to welcome all of you who are new or returning members, especially those of you who've just come on board recently in 2020, and particularly as a result of the Wuhan virus pandemic. We are indeed living in historic times, and we undoubtedly have some monumental challenges still ahead of us. Not just in America, but for freedom-loving people around the world. It's encouraging to see so many patriot-minded citizens discerning the times we're in. What you're watching is the first in a series of videos I'll be producing in the coming days and weeks. These videos will help lay the groundwork for helping you understand what's going on in AmRRON and how to participate. Over the past few years, the radio operators in AmRRON, and especially AmRRON Core, have made huge strides toward the development or implementation of more efficient and effective methods, modes, and practices. So a lot has changed. Many of you are returning members and just need some help understanding what's changed since you were with us last. This AmRRON 2020 video series will also be really helpful for those of you who might be feeling a bit overwhelmed. Maybe you're new to emergency communications, or MCOMs for short, or perhaps you've been involved in other MCOMs groups who might do things a bit differently. In subsequent videos, I'll discuss just what operations are taking place right now as it relates to real-world operations, as well as practice and training operations. I will cover many of the ways you can participate depending on your level of interest. And in those videos, we'll share standardized guidance for best practices and TTPs, that's tactics, techniques, and procedures. There's a lot to cover, so just take it one step at a time. Pause the videos to take notes or watch them as many times as necessary. Let's get the COVID-19 topic out of the way first. As of the date of this video production, April 8th, 2020, we are at AMCON 4. That is the second to the lowest readiness condition level, 5 being the lowest. We're only at AMCON 4 as a way of bringing awareness to the slight possibility of a cyber attack by Iran. More details about the current AMCON level are available on the AMCON page at AmRRON.com. But briefly, in January, Iran promised retaliatory strikes on the U.S. infrastructure, expressing hopes of destroying America for killing an Iranian terrorist leader in Iraq. We are not at AMCON 4 because of the Wuhan virus. At the current time, there is no known imminent threats to our nation's commercial power grid or our telecommunications infrastructure. The American Redoubt Radio Operators Network, as you know, is a nationwide and beyond emergency communications network for disasters and civil defense. The COVID-19 crisis is indeed an emergency. It has impacted or will impact, either directly or indirectly, nearly every person on Earth. It's a disaster unlike any we've seen before. However, this is a disaster in which the grid is up. Seeing the pandemic go through other countries, we don't see a high likelihood that the commercial power grid or telecommunications infrastructure will be disrupted, not as a direct result of the COVID-19 virus anyway. So, the question is, does AmRRON have a role in the COVID-19 pandemic? If so, what is it? What is AmRRON currently doing, and why? And finally, how can one participate? With this pandemic, we have seen a significant awakening among citizens. Some of them preppers and patriots who haven't given much thought to preparedness over the last few years, and some of them who've never considered preparedness at all until they saw empty store shelves with their own eyes for the first time in their lives. We've also seen a strong resurgence of past members and radio operators who had drifted away for various reasons, who are returning to the hobby to dust off their gear and get back on the air. This provides an unprecedented opportunity to get radio operators back up to speed and to introduce newcomers to emergency radio communications. A radio operator's purpose is to pass information. So, AmRRON has placed emphasis on both the handling of radio communications and on handling intelligence. This helps us, our families, and our community leaders make informed decisions. Does AmRRON have a role in this Wuhan virus pandemic? Absolutely. And that is to train. This has given us a unique opportunity to develop real-world reports related to an ongoing developing situation over which we have no control, unlike a scenario-based, made-up training exercise. So, radio operators are passing situation reports, also known as SITREPs, throughout their regions. And at AmRRON National, we've produced 7 SITREPs to be distributed widely across the network, as well as 1 set of PIRs, or Priority Intelligence Requirements. Also, while we have no indicators of conventional communications being disrupted as a result of coronavirus, we do recognize that our nation is in a vulnerable situation. Our military, National Guard, and law enforcement across the country are also being impacted by the pandemic. A great deal of uncertainty and, for some, even panic in our country and around the world has things in a bit of a chaotic state right now. This chaos could potentially serve as an invitation to terrorist or nation-state actors who wish us harm. So, we train. We pass real-world information even though the internet and other communications are available, and we stay ready to serve. If an unforeseen event were to occur which does cause regional or widespread communications disruptions, we're already on the air. It's a relatively seamless switch from training to real-world disaster operations. Right now, our role is threefold. 1. Train, so we can become as proficient as possible with the time we have. 2. Be vigilant and discerning, so we can anticipate potential threats to our country. 3. Be ready to serve our families and communities, to serve each other, and to serve the leaders identified as having proven track records defending the rule of law, our values and our heritage, and America's founding principles. Check out AmRRON 2020 Part 2, where I'll be focusing on what's new with AmRRON and where you can go to learn more. 73 and God bless. Stay safe, everyone. This is John Jacob Schmidt, out.
As ready, trained communicators, right up to the present time, radio hams have been busy every single minute. The ever-increasing group of radio amateurs who have equipped themselves at their own expense with two-way radio sets by amateurs who saw their opportunity to render a public service and paid off for Americans in trouble.